IT companies, this is only for BTech students, for engineers. Like
Right.
you have done a thing that you have broke the stereotype. So what did you
About, because in on-campus placements, what you get is you get a bit of training, you get a bit of placement preparation from. Sometimes it depends on luck. Like I know people who have given a really
dates? Like how much does it generally take? Like what was the registration date? What was the full process?
Okay, so I have written it down. My registration date, as I've mentioned, was.
Another thing is that like there is a myth in the market, like Accenture only hires girls. Like is it true?
Like, do you think I'm a girl?
Here the myth was like many people think that love, relationship, this kind of things hampers our journey. What are your views on this? Hello everyone, this is Abhishek Paul. I have worked for two edtech companies and recently I got placed at Accenture. So in this video, I have with us Soumyadeep. So hello Soumyadeep, how are you?
Hi Abhishek, how are you? I'm doing fine.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so Soumyadeep, so just for our viewers, introduce yourself please.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Soumyadeep Das. This year graduate in BSc Computer Science Honours from the University of Calcutta, and I did it from Scottish Church College, Kolkata. And recently, I've cracked Accenture, Kolkata.
Nice. Wonderful. Okay, so Soumyadeep, there is a myth in the market. So everybody thinks that MNCs, IT companies, this is only for BTech students, for engineers. Like
Right.
you have done a thing that you have broke the stereotype. So what are your
Right.
views on this?
Okay, so firstly, Abhishek, thank you for putting a light on the BSc students too. So yeah, it's actually a myth that only the engineering students or from the core IT branches, they are eligible for cracking big MNCs. I don't think so. Like if you have a good grasp over the basic computer science, I'll say, and some of the pseudocodes, and if you do a pretty much focus on the college lectures or you just have a good communication skill, so you'll be able to crack it. Yeah, just the thing on the D-Day, how much well you're performing on the interview, it actually matters. So that's it, and just you have to study a bit and you can easily crack it.
Yeah, wonderful. But I think, what are your views on the topic that what is the difference in a difficulty level for a student appearing for on-campus and off-campus? Like from on-campus, many of the students had a very higher chances. Like out of students from our college, 55 were selected. So like around 1:3 ratio in that. And off-campus, what is the competition level? What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so this is a topic to say about, because in on-campus placements, what you get is you get a bit of training, you get a bit of placement preparation from all the teachers or lecturers or whatever. But in off-campus, you're competing against a lot of colleges, a lot of students who are applying off-campus, and that too from various parts of India, not just your college. So it's a bit tricky to crack in the first place. But I'll still say that if you have a bit depth on what you know, or you are just confident on your skill, you'll be able to do it. Just the thing, sometimes it depends on luck. Like I know people who have given a really bad interview, as they mentioned, but they have got it. And sometimes they just fumble on trivial things, and so the interviewer cuts marks. So on that basis, a lot of off-campus good students even get rejected. So you'll have to focus on that. That's it.
Right, wonderful. Okay, so is it necessary for a student to come from computer science background, or they can learn the topics later also?
Okay, so I'll say that if you are not from computer science, you have to know basics of coding, networking, a bit of cloud, and a bit of OOPS, DBMS concepts will do. I am not sure about the various subjects that are being asked in the interview, because I was asked about cloud, networking, a bit of pseudocode, and to mention, I had class 11, 12, in class 11, 12th, I did have computer science, so I did know about Java and all, and also in college, my core was computer science honors. So yeah, I was a lot confident in those topics. About cloud, I had to go through the previous year questions or the earliest lot questions a bit, and that's it. The questions come repeated in patterns, and you'll get to see common questions whatsoever.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so now let's deviate back to our main point, like your interview experience and your journey from BSc to Accenture. So what was the exam pattern? Like in our on-campus, the exam the ep2 round had 90 questions in 90 minutes. So is it the same for off-campus also?
It's pretty much the same. You'll have to have the mathematical or the reasoning part for the first 45 minutes, and for the next 45 minutes, you'd be asked pseudocodes and the core of computer science. Yeah, that's it. And one thing that we miss out here is you are are not asked the coding questions which the
Okay.
on-campus students have to go through. So it's a difference of package out there. Like we as off-campus students don't get the exact 4.5 LPA. Depending on our interview experience, the company decides that your salary should range from 3.36 to 4.5, and it can vary to some extent. Or you'll be getting a fixed 3.36. You can't negotiate on that. So it completely depends on the interview experience. Also the role that I'm talking about, you might get the same role as the BTech students that they are getting, but your salary may vary on that because you are just a BSc graduate. But that's not the fact. You'll just have to go through the cognitive round, the communication round, and ultimately the HR of the final round.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to discuss this only. What are the rounds? So
Right.
in Accenture. So the first round was, I think, aptitude. Like it had mathematical reasoning also, and then
Right.
it had verbal ability, cloud computing, networking,
Right.
MS Office,
Yep.
and along with that, pseudocode also.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And in the next round, you guys also had communication round.
Right. It was AI based. I think
Yeah.
you guys do have
Yeah,
AI
same,
based,
same,
right?
same. Yeah, just communication round, and then
Right.
there was interview. First.
Right. Yeah. The final interview. Yeah. That's the last round. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's discuss that. What was the dates? Like, how much does it generally take? Like, what was your registration date? What was the full process?
Okay, so I've written it down. My registration date, as I've mentioned, was on 19th September 2024. And on 26th September, I got a mail that your exam should be scheduled somewhere. And I scheduled it on 20th September, the first slot, 9 a.m. So I had my cognitive and technical ability round on that day. And after that, my communication round was finished on 1st October. And I got the mail for interview on October 7th. So I had to give my interview on October 7th. So yeah, that was all the dates.
Okay, so just for our viewers, I just want to clear that if you guys want to know about the communication round, there are many YouTube videos available on that. You will get the exact 20 minutes video for that. Like exact 60-70% questions will come from that only, and rest 30% can come from otherwise. Okay, so now let's discuss about the final and the most important round, that is the interview round. Like our 22 years of experience, we need to explain it in within 20 minutes only. Like, so what were the questions asked to you in your interview?
Okay, so this is the trickiest round that off-campus student can expect, right? Coming from a BSc or a BCA background, you are sometimes deemed that you don't have that much of knowledge with technicalities. But I'll say that if you are actually confident enough with your skills and you can drive the interview in your own way, like you can explain to the interviewer that you have done BSc, but you are equally eligible, just like a BTech candidate, you'll be able to drive through the interview. So in my interview, the first question I was asked was to describe about my journey all from school up till Accenture, and to introduce myself. So I did that, and after that, the interview tried driving me and pushing me that will you be able to provide much value to our company because you are not a BTech graduate. Like how would you do well, or like why do you think you are so much confident in doing so? So I answered accordingly, and you don't have to be diplomatic. I'll say the interviewers are very gentle with you. They'll be eager to listen to what you are wanting to say. Just don't fumble, or just don't spread something that you are not, right? You just have to prove that you are doing what you are meaning.
Right.
So that's exactly the thing. The next thing that I was asked was about my projects, my final year projects, and with whom did I do it. And as I did it with my friend, I mentioned about that it was on blockchain and Ganache. So I clearly described what it was doing, like how was the transaction system made by us, and what purpose it was serving, what were the issues that we faced while building the project, and obviously did we have a mentor in our project. And ultimately the interviewer asked like whether if I have a question for him or not. And remember guys, always you should have a question for the interviewer at last.
Absolutely.
Right. So I asked a bit like what kind of software engineering model do you guys work on? So they mentioned, and it's not really right for me to mention the software engineering model, but they mentioned. Okay, so that's all.
Okay, wonderful. Another thing is that like there is a myth in the market, like Accenture only hires girls. Like, is it true?
Like, do you think I'm a girl? No, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually a myth. But it depends on person to person. Like there actually are some companies who like have inclination towards the female candidates, and I don't know if Accenture is one or so, because I'm in the company right now. I'm not allowed to say certain things, but I'll still say that as a man who is in off campus, who is doing BSc, like who has done BSc, and that too in off campus, I cracked Accenture, and so can you. And at the time I cracked, it was pretty late for the interview dates to occur, because the slots were already filling from time to time, and there were less vacancies, I believe, because vacancies don't come often. So in that scenario, if I can crack off campus, this is just a piece of cake for everyone if they work hard.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I just also want to share an experience that in our college there are 55 students eligible, I mean selected. So out of the 55, 29 were boys and 26 were girls. So there's
Right.
nothing like that girls are more in number and boys are less in number. Actually, there
Right.
were 3 more boys. So yeah, so that's it. Like it's not like only girls will get selected, boys will also get equally selected. It's almost equal, 1:1 ratio from our
Right,
college
right.
also. Yeah.
Right.
So these are the main things. Okay. So any tips you want to give to any students who have joined BSc and want to go further in MNCs like Accenture, TCS, or any multinational company?
Okay, so I will divide my opinion in two parts. Firstly, if you are doing BSc in IT or computer science, or BCA in specializing in any branch of computer science, you're good to go. You can just prepare from the very last 5 months or 6 months, or if you are good enough, you can just go through the previous year questions for the last 3 months before your interview is about to happen, or before your test is about to happen, and just have a note that patterns to repeat, right? Focus a bit on the logical reasoning questions, on where there's blood relation kind of questions. There's a bit of data interpretation. You can play around with the data. You can just have a look at a bit of pseudocodes, right? If you tend to have weakness in programming languages, you can just have a look at pseudocodes. You can look up bit questions on the cloud networking sector, and you're good to go. And if you're not from the computer science background, you just have to work hard for at least a year or so. So, and ultimately you'll be able to crack it. It's not that hard, I believe.
Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely, absolutely. So I think many of the students who are from BCA or BSc background would be motivated by your speech, and they would also try to go to companies like Accenture, TCS, Capgemini,
Right.
and so on.
Right.
So that's pretty much sums up our video. So just a off-topic question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Even I also know the answer, but still I want to clear the myth. Like many people think that love, relationship, this kind of things hampers our journey. What are your views on this?
I mean, like
When we were in college in our prime, like we have enjoyed many things. So let's just tell our viewers, like, is it important to focus only on studies, or you can crack
See.
MNCs by going into relationships also?
See, I am a very romantic kind of person to answer this question. I just on a serious note, I think these things should not affect anyone. I mean, like, you obviously love your parents. Everyone loves our parents.
Yeah.
Like, did that ever affect your study? No, I don't think so.
Never.
So, why should a affection for a girl or a boy affect your studies? That's also love. You love your parents. You love a woman. You love a guy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You should not see love as a distraction. Like, it should motivate you to do a lot of things. Like, you might have seen a lot of movies where they portray this kind of things really evil, but there are also a lot of success stories where you always need a guy or a woman in your side to be better in what you're doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's pretty much what we wanted to showcase to our viewer. So that's all. Thank you for watching, viewers, and thank you, Soumyadeep, for coming to my channel.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.